Hey everyone, it is I, Jack, and welcome back to another video. And what are we talking about today? We're talking about Ghost Bath, the depressive suicidal black metal band from North Dakota, who originally said that they were from China, and that kind of threw people off a little bit. But regardless, hey, I guess marketing, you gotta get yourself known nowadays. Regardless, they've had some amazing records since. And the new one, Rose Thorn Necklace, is an interesting one because although it's nine songs long, you would think 9 songs, that's about a good hour. Their records usually spend about an hour, maybe an hour 15. They're kind of long records, the previous ones. But this one though, 35 minutes. It's 35 minutes long. So it's almost like an EP, but regardless though, this album, written, produced by the main member. I think on stage he goes by the name of the Nameless. Real name Dennis. Let me make sure I get this right. Mikula, Dennis Mikula. He produced, wrote, played almost all the instruments except for the drums. This one is an interesting album because it has a theme to it to some degree. When you hear the first single, Rose Thorn Necklace, you hear this melody that comes back in the song Dandelion Tea. So it's Dandelion Tea is kind of like a reprise of that song, but the main melody of Rose Thorn Necklace is kind of fed in certain points. But regardless, it's depressive suicidal black metal, so it's at its top tier. This is an amazing record. The previous record that they had, I was blown away by. Self-Loather. That record, just one of my favorite records. I mean, to be honest, the way I discovered this band was I was searching for similar bands to Alcest and specifically though Amazure. The first Amazure and actually the only Amazure album is genius. It is the best post black metal album I've ever heard. And sadly, only one record. But again, it's understandable because the main, I think the main writer of Amazures went on to create Alcest. So, it just natural evolution, you know. But either way, I was looking for similar bands, and I came across Altars of Ruin and Ghost Bath, but primarily the Moonlover album. And of course, the Moonlover album, if you've ever seen it, it's kind of an evocating image, and can't show it on YouTube for reasons. And that album just, I have never heard anything like that at that. Well, let me rephrase it. I haven't heard anything like that in a while. The reason I say that is because many years ago, that I came across a band called Bethlehem. Now, there's an album Bethlehem has that they call it the Suicide album because it's a very long title, so it just abbreviates to Suicide. The screams on that album are just torturous. The guy sounds like he is in a cave, not in a cave, but in some sort of dungeon, literally getting his legs sawed off. The screaming in it is just... So when I come across Moonlover, I'm like, what the hell? this takes me back. And that whole album, the melody, the sadness on it, just chef's kiss. So that's when I started following Ghost Bath. And then Self-Loather comes out, and I'm just like, oh, this is, again, it's fantastic. And especially in that album, there's a song It's played primarily on piano is just so sad and so beautiful at the same point. It's great, and they do it again in this in Rose Thorn Necklace. So in this one though, what shocked me, and I posted this in the Heretic Circle Instagram stories. I was surprised by some changes, but they were done in a good way. So up until this album, there hasn't been use of electronics. This one is the first time I hear Ghost Bass use electronics, um like synthesizer electronics. But you know what? It works. It goes along with the melody and what it's trying to evoke. So when you hear a band suddenly start implementing new instrumentation and new effects, you kind of get worried because a lot of times the sound that they have is so concrete. It's like, okay, this is the foundation of it. This is all you need. You shouldn't add anything more on it, because if not, that foundation might crumble. It doesn't. It really doesn't. So I was actually pleasantly surprised. So the album, while it is short, it's 35 minutes. I was like, wait, I was like, there's more, right? No, that's it. 9 songs, 35 minutes, you're done. Kind of like the Behemoth album. Apparently, just real quick. No, don't need two-sided vinyls for this one. Nope, one vinyl, A and B, or whatever, however long it was. I think it's like 40 minutes. I think that one. I mean, hey, what you have to say sometimes shouldn't take too long. So this album is really good, really really good. Really recommend. If you're a Ghost Bath fan already, you're gonna be a little surprised. I will tell you that, by that inclusion of electronics, but you will still dig it. It is still Ghost Bath. It is still melodic, sad, melancholy. It is depressive, suicidal black metal at its finest. So give it a listen to, give it a shot. Let me know what you think. Leave a comment, either here or in TikTok, the TikTok summary, you can say. Let me know what you think, and if you know other bands that have a similar sound to them, leave them. I want to hear them. Anyway, though, we'll see you on the next one. Hopefully it won't take too long. But either way, if anything, go to hereticcircle.com for records, shirts, prints, all that stuff. And I'll see you on the next one. Cheers.